Okay, go. I'm right behind you.
Hey everyone, ThatWyvernCritic here. So today we are back with another What If, this time explaining an alternate timeline where Astrid trained a light fairy and seeing how this changes the course of the How to Train Your Dragon timeline. Before we begin, I would like to thank Ghost Viper for this What If suggestion, and without further ado, let's go! During their explorations, the riders discovered a hidden island shrouded in mist and darkness which Berk's papers referred to as the Isle of Night. The island was unlike any place they had previously encountered, mostly barren, with rocky cliffs and strange cold winds. While exploring, the riders found a dragon unlike any they had ever seen before. It resembled a night fairy but was distinctly different, sleek, pale, and agile. The riders realized this was an entirely new species of dragon, which, after careful observation, they officially classified as the Light Fairy and proudly added it to their Book of Dragons. This was a monumental discovery, expanding their understanding of dragonkind and offering hope that the Night Fairy had a close relative thriving in secret. Astrid took the lead in caring for the injured Light Fairy, tending to its wounds and gaining its trust. However, she continued to fly with Stormfly, her loyal deadly adder, as the bond with the Light Fairy was still new and fragile. The other riders respected the secrecy of the island and the dragon, agreeing that such a precious find must be protected at all costs. The news, however, reached the outcasts, who had long resented Berk and its people. They saw the Light Fairy's resemblance to the almost extinct Night Fairy as a sign of immense power. Though they hated Berk, they knew such a prize was too valuable to lose or waste. Rather than attacking immediately, the outcasts withdrew into hiding, planning how they might one day claim the island not only for the possible Light Fairy population they may find, but for an ancient secret the island held that could grant them limitless power. After relocating from Berk, the riders set up their new base on the Isle of Night, calling it Dragon's Edge. This location allowed them to study the island's unique fauna and learn more about, or find more, Light Fairies. Dagger, this time not in outcast prison, but building up his armada, and with a desire to control the Isle of Night, tracked down Alvin, the cunning leader of the outcasts. After capturing him, Dagger interrogated Alvin relentlessly, demanding every detail about the Isle, its dragons, the hidden secret it held, and why it was so important to Hiccup and the riders. Alvin, though defiant, realized he was at a disadvantage. Dagger's questioning was brutal and unyielding. Under pressure, Alvin revealed that the Isle was home to a rare population of Light Fairies, relatives of the Night Fairy, and held an ancient secret that the Dragon Riders didn't know. A secret so valuable it could change the balance of power for whoever controlled it. Seeing an opportunity, Dagger forced Alvin to hand over control of the outcasts, and with the outcasts now under his command, Dagger gained a stronger foothold in the ongoing conflict, increasing his influence and resources. Recognizing the need for more power and resources, Dagger decided to integrate his berserkers and outcasts into the dragon hunters led by Vigo and Riker, hoping to gain a fighting chance to take control of the Isle of Night for himself. Unknown to Dagger, Vigo learned about the secret the island held through one of Dagger's men. Despite being a cunning businessman, Vigo understood that Drago would stop at nothing to claim it and would send his forces to seize the island. To protect the secret, Vigo only revealed to Drago that there was a Light Fairy population on the Isle, keeping the island's true secret hidden through his careful and strategic tactics. What came next was a fierce battle dubbed the Battle for the Isle of Night. It was brutal and chaotic, as multiple factions clashed over control of the island, its mysterious dragons, and the secret it guarded. The dragon hunters led by Viggo, Riker, Dagger, and Johan sought to claim the island for their own purposes. Krogan arrived under Drago's orders with his men, focusing on the Lightfury population, unaware of the deeper secret the Isle of Night held thanks to Viggo's efforts. Amid the fighting, tragedy struck when Astrid's loyal dragon Stormfly was killed in the battle. The loss hit Astrid hard, but it also solidified her bond with the wounded male Lightfury she had been tending to, Silvergale, who had now become her permanent dragon companion. The fight came to a brutal close as the dragon hunters and Krogan's forces retreated. Krogan was instructed by Drago to instead focus on finding another king of dragons, and the dragon hunters decided to align themselves with Krogan and focus on the same task for now. Johan, driven by greed and distrust, secretly plotted to trap Viggo, Riker, and Dagger, seeing them as obstacles to his own rise within the dragon hunters. He orchestrated a carefully planned ambush, luring the three leaders to a remote location under false pretenses of a strategic meeting. His intent was to eliminate them and seize full control. Dagger sensed the danger before the trap fully closed and managed to slip away, disappearing into the wild to avoid capture and to rebuild the berserkers. The ambush, however, caught Riker and Viggo off guard. The ensuing battle was fierce. Riker fought valiantly but was mortally wounded, succumbing to his injuries. Viggo managed to survive by training a monstrous nightmare, which helped him escape. He finally learned what Hiccup believed and secretly communicated with him, eventually leading him to the Dragon Hunter's camp, where he gave him the Dragon Islanders he would need to find the King of Dragons before Johan and Krogan. He also told him the true secret about the Isle of Night, that it was one of the many hidden gateways to the hidden world, a secret so strong that Viggo decided Drago could never learn it. Viggo sacrificed himself, allowing Hiccup to escape, find the King of Dragons' egg, and defeat the remaining dragon hunters like what happened in the original timeline. As we begin How to Train Your Dragon 2, the Isle of Night has experienced many changes, with more Light Furies exiting the Hidden World entrance and making the Isle their permanent home, while the Dragon Riders strengthened the island's defenses. Astrid and Silvergale's bond has also grown considerably. One afternoon, a violent storm drove a battered dragon trapper ship onto the island's rocky shore. This was Aerith's ship, which had been searching for dragons to trap for Drago. Aerith searched the island for supplies before finding multiple Lightfury nests. However, he was even more surprised when he came across a large crack beneath one of the island's underwater tunnels, which led to the hidden world. This discovery motivated Aerith and his crew to rebuild their ship and notify Drago, believing they would receive a large reward. On their way to Drago, Hiccup intercepted them midway. He managed to persuade Aerith by saving his crew from a rogue Squadron, which convinced Aerith to turn his ship the other way around and leave the secret of the Isle of Night alone. Unknown to both of them, one of his crew members had already made his way to Drago to deliver the news. Hiccup decided to keep searching for Drago to try and convince him, eventually meeting his mother and her dragon sanctuary similarly to the original timeline. Meanwhile, back on Berk, Stoic interrogated Aerith, who had just arrived and learned of Drago's impending arrival. He put the whole island on lockdown and left with Gobber to look for Hiccup. Aboard Drago's fleet, one of Aerith's men informed Drago of the true secret of the Isle of Night held, and that it was one of the few islands with a gateway to a hidden world of dragons, a place only rumored to exist in legend. Realizing the power this could bring him, Drago decided to divert his efforts from attacking Valka's dragon sanctuary, and instead gathered his armada and Bewilderbeast to take command of the Isle of Night. Gobber and Stoic finally arrived at Valka's dragon sanctuary, with Stoic and Valka finally reuniting. However, Hiccup sensed that Drago should have attacked by now. He returned to Berk to gather the Dragon Riders, but decided to check on the Isle of Light beforehand just in case. When he arrived, the isle was in ruin. Lightfury nests lay shattered, smoke and ash rising into the air, and Drago's Bewilderbeast looming over the island, ice and wreckage at its feet. Hiccup caught sight of Drago himself riding into the darkness beyond, the crack pulsing faintly and opening to something far greater. Hiccup could only watch as Drago vanished inside. The fight for dragons was no longer above, it had entered the hidden world. In this alternate timeline, we begin How to Train Your Dragon 3 right where How to Train Your Dragon 2 left off. with Drago, his wildebeest and his armada storming through the Isle of Night's underwater tunnels and marching toward the entrance of the hidden world. In this version, Grimmel was not the antagonist of How to Train Your Dragon 3, as he was never hired by the warlords and remained unaware of Toothless's existence. Hiccup and Toothless, along with the rest of Berk's fleet, Valka's wildebeest and the dragons from her sanctuary, tried to stop Drago before he could reach the heart of the hidden world. Hiccup attempted to persuade Drago to abandon his conquest and see the good in dragons, but Drago ordered his wildebeest to trap both Hiccup and Toothless in ice. Astrid and Silvergale managed to push them out of harm's way, but not before being encased in the ice themselves. From within the ice, a turquoise green light began to glow and Silvergale rose, defending Astrid and challenging Drago's wildebeest. The cavern shook as the massive titan roared, towering over the much smaller Light Fury. The wildebeest unleashed a wave of freezing breath, instantly covering the battlefield in jagged ice. Silvergale countered not with brute force but with speed. He blinked from a sight and a flash of plasma appearing above the beast's head and unleashing a barrage of glowing blasts. The attacks left scorch marks across its icy scales, forcing the Leviathan to bellow in frustration. The fight built to a climax when the wildebeest caught Silvergale in its freezing breath, locking him in a shell of ice midair. For moments it seemed the Light Fury had been defeated, but the turquoise glow inside him flared brighter than ever, shattering the ice in an explosive burst of plasma. With one final charge, Silvergale dove straight for the wildebeest's face, firing a concentrated blast into its eye and forcing the titan to collapse with a thunderous roar. Exhausted but unyielding, Silvergale stood his ground over the fallen beast, wings spread wide as turquoise fire rippled along his scales. In that moment, he claimed his place as king of the hidden world. Meanwhile, Stoic returned from Berk with grim news. A portion of Drago's armada had attacked and decimated the village while they fought for the hidden world. With nothing left to lose, Stoic heeded Hiccup's words and ordered all Vikings to relocate to the hidden world. There, they sealed themselves away from the rest of the world and created the first true Dragon Viking utopia. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed. If you're new here, make sure to consider subscribing for more videos like this and to help the channel grow. And if you have a video idea like a How to Train Your Dragon Explained or a future what if suggestion, comment it down below so it could possibly be used in a future video. Yet again, thanks again so much for watching and I'll see you on the next one.